What's up, guys? It's your boy, James Fraser, coming at you live with another podcast on the Northern Knock. The podcast bringing a spotlight to the best of the best when it comes to door knockers in North America. And we got an extra special episode today. This guy hasn't only won one, not two, not three, not four, not five. This guy has won 6 golden doors. I am so stoked to talk to this guy today. Please welcome to the show, Cody Olive. Cody, how are you, man?
Good. Thanks for having me, James. And thanks for the intro. I appreciate that.
Dude, super stoked to talk to you. You won the first ever Cleaner Award. So it was an award built specifically for you for winning 6 golden doors, the same amount of championships for MJ.
That's right,
Is that
baby.
right?
That's right.
Dude, where is it? Where is it? You don't carry it around everywhere? It's not in your back pocket?
It's actually in my office, in my home here in Provo. So it's up in my built-ins, and so I literally made 6 built-ins because I had that goal to get 6 golden doors, so I could put one in after each summer.
Dude. So like what was it getting that 6th one? Because I know you were chasing it.
It was kind of bittersweet, and it's interesting because it's last summer I kind of transitioned where I had 4 teams and was more managing, recruiting, and visiting offices, but I honestly felt like I still had it in me for a 7th one. And so it was bittersweet and it felt amazing to accomplish it. I had my technician who's been with me the last 4 years. My wife came out there, had some of my most senior and favorite reps on that team. But honestly, it's now transitioning to my next, 6 for 6. So it was fun, but I'm ready for the next venture.
So wait, what do you mean by the next 6 for 6?
We gotta get over 1,000 reps, run $100 million business, and grow this thing and teach many more reps how to get golden doors and invest and change their lives and get ahead. So it just kind of it transitions. I'm in a different phase of my career now.
That's very cool, man. That's very cool. Okay, excited to break everything down with you. First thing first, just let's go through your resume each year, how many accounts, and yeah, let's just run it through real quick.
Cool. So 2019 was 1,004 accounts. We were Green X Philly. 2020 we were Chicago. 1,728 accounts. Green X, that's when I did a million. That's when Drew Hansen did a million in revenue. Still hold the all-time accounts record. I'm just teasing. 2021 is when we solidified as Grit Marketing. So I went to Milwaukee and sold for Spidex. Did a golden door. I think I sold 750 accounts this year or that year because it was 550K for the revenue that year. 2022, that's when we partnered with Aptiv. So I did Aptiv Omaha, did 1,000 accounts, million in revenue. And then 2023, I did Aptiv New Jersey, million, 1,000 accounts again. And then 2024, that's when we did a couple more partnerships. And so literally that year I sold for Aruza. I sold for Bug Shark, which is owned by Spidex. And then that's when we opened up Mira, which is what the Grit owns, the pest control company we own. And that was 1,000 accounts. ACV was a little bit lower that year, bad habits, just trying to get the job done. But I did about 860K that year.
Unreal, man.
Thank,
Unreal. So yeah, it's jaw-dropping numbers. So
thank you.
yeah, man, I really wanted to talk to you today because like myself, I'm coming off my 2nd golden door, and this is when a lot of people start to get in your ear about, hey man, you should get off the doors, or hey man, you're hurting your team maybe by going for another golden door. And it's kind of like, for me, I'm getting pulled on 2 sides. There's one part of me that thinks, okay, I want to go for another one. I want to lead from the front. I want to go for it. The other side, kind of listening to the people saying, you need to slow down. You need to cool off. So I'm just really curious, man, like 6 golden doors back to back to back every single year. What is your mindset to just keep going for it and keep getting after it?
Yeah. I think especially as things have evolved, you just want to stay relevant because I feel like a lot of the times in the door-to-door space, if you become like a VP of sales or a president of sales and you go to give advice to like a young ripper that's done it, a first time, they're like, oh, what do you know? You knocked back in the Stone Age. And so I think it has real power being able to be relevant, where it's like I even went out in September and October and I ran a little postseason block out in Reno, Nevada. And that's where we had 6 people finish up their golden doors. That's where we had, Dallin Peterson, the greatest rookie of all time, who did 750 accounts, 750K. He has 10% attrition. I wanted to
Wow.
ensure he was out there. And I even went out and sold 200 accounts myself because then I could stand up in front of the morning meeting every morning and be like, hey, like, this is how you do it. This is the grit way. This is the principle way. So I think that's huge. I think too, because you kind of said it a couple times in the industry, we need to erase this entirely. People think it's binary. People either think you rip and you don't recruit, or people think you recruit and you have a big time, but you can't rip. But it's actually in 2023 when I sold 1 million and did 1,000 accounts. I had the Smith brothers both do golden doors, and we were about a $6 million office. Or 2024 when we were in Houston, Texas, that was the best team ever where we had 6 golden doors on that team and get another rookie golden door, Ryan Winfrey. And our team crushed and we did over 8 million. And that's when I sold 1,000 accounts. And so I think it's obviously you don't want to be a robot, you want to have human touch. But if you have good systems in place, you can still go and do both. And you can do both very well. But like for example, where now I have 7 teams this summer, I have some younger leaders. I can't be fully in a full team and crushing because then if some of my younger leaders need my help, it's like I got to be able to go out there and support. Whereas in like 23 and 24, where I only had a couple teams, but my other team leaders were very senior, besides, checking in, they didn't need my help. Like, let's both rip and lead from the front. You know what I mean? And then the third thing is it's just your resume and it's respect because at the end of the day, like I come from very older traditional parents and I was just always so ingrained, hey, at the end of the day, all you have is your word and your reputation. And so when I go to recruit people or teach people or train people, I can always lean on that, not to be arrogant, but it's like, hey, I've done this 6 times. Oh, you want to do 1,000 accounts? I've done it 5 times. Oh, you want to do 1 million? I've done it 3 times. And then especially I love and care about my people. They can piggyback off my resume too and then recruit as well to that too, because kind of like I'm sure you feel the same way there, James. When you recruit people in Canada, it's like you want them to be on your team so that way you can guarantee their experience. Whereas door to
Hmm.
door is really hard, and I just so believe in my people and my skills. Where it's like if you come sell with me or one of my teams, you'll have a better experience anywhere else.
Right. Amazing, man. Now, was that a mindset that you just kind of cultivated yourself, or is that kind of a culture that you guys have? Like, I'm sure you've been offered those VP positions. I'm sure you've been offered all sorts of stuff to kind of have an excuse to get off the doors. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, is that just all kind of fortitude from yourself, or do you have a group of guys that kind of all, echo that?
Yeah, I think it's just very much what we stand for here at the Grit. Like Ben Egan has always been that way. Like in 2019, my very first team, that's when, we put on 10,000 accounts that year. And that was like a huge deal because it was more accounts versus revenue focused back then. But Ben sold over 700 accounts himself that year. And so I think it's just you can do both and do both very well. And same thing with Drew and all his teams that he's ran. Like he was always number one, but then ran incredible teams. So I think it's just a cultural focus and something that we stand for, and I've always engendered, believed, and will always keep doing.
Awesome, man. Okay, I got a buzz question for you. Will,
Okay.
will Cody Olive hit another golden door?
Oh gosh, I would love to, but my wife would kill me because we now have a son. I have a 7-month-old, and would love to have another couple kids here soon. So I would hate to say no, but it's also like I doubt it. But I will always sell every single summer, not because I can't get off the doors, because sometimes people try and use that to recruit against us. Where it's like my buddies all did corporate America. Like my one buddy owns a law firm, another one's a CPA, another one's a dentist. If we have this revenue skill, this money making generator, why would you ever turn it off? If me and my wife want to go to a cool trip to Asia, if we want to buy a couple of investment properties, if we want to go do whatever, and I can turn that spigot on to get a couple more quick dollars, why would I ever turn that off? Plus, I'm more relevant with my guys, and my guys trust me more. So it's a win win on both ends.
100%, man. Like, piece of advice I got, let's just listen to a clip. I think it's Mike O'Donnell.
Mhm.
I think the older fella, solar guy,
Yeah.
and they were asking him the same question. Hey, when are you gonna get off the doors? And he was just like, you when you are making close to a half a million, when you've cultivated this skill set, it's not a job you're rushing to get out of. Like, this is not a job you should be rushing to get out of or anything like that. And that kind of always stuck to me, wake up call, like, yeah, so very cool, man. On that subject with your wife, your kids, that's another thing, right? I'm about to get married next month.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, super stoked. But I know the guys, are starting to have kids on the doors, and just how do you juggle the two going for elite sales, juggling that and just making sure everything's healthy and, I guess asking for permission from your wife for you could to go to these big goals. What's your kind of process on that?
Great question. I mean, luckily for me, my wife actually sold after 3 summers, so she gets it more than anyone. When we were engaged, actually, she sold, and all of her sales actually paid for the furniture for our new home. So funny stuff.
Dope.
But I would say the biggest thing is just over communication because especially if you have huge aspirations and huge goals, your spouse needs to understand there will be a little bit of sacrifice, but it also comes at what cost. Whereas if there's certain things where she's frustrated or upset, then of course then you're gonna have to make sacrifices. But then if you want to live a certain life or a certain lifestyle, then of course you both have to be, hey, are we both willing to do that? So I would say that that's the biggest thing. It shouldn't be, hey, I have this sales goal and it's a hit at all costs because it's like I would never want to lose my spouse and my son or we're going for a big goal. So I think that's the biggest thing is like, hey, what are you both willing to give and take on so that way you're both on the same page? I think two
Yep.
is being really intentional with our time. I think, bless these phones, they're amazing. But I think when we come home from the doors, like I'm guilty of this, you want to put out fires, you want to check out and check in on your reps, you want to see the leaderboard where it's like when you're home, be home. Like it's such a cliche phrase, but it's like when you walk in the door, put that phone away, give full attention for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is for dinner, bedtime, X, Y, and Z, and then get back to it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then the third thing I would say as well is to make sure to make time. So it's like when I always ran my teams, I would always make sure on Sundays where it was just time, her and I, because she was okay with me making the longer hours and working the extra time because we have certain life goals, but that's what works for my wife and I. But especially whenever I had the free moments or the free time, I would be super intentional and be like, okay, no reps, no phone, no TV, just like her and I doing whatever she wanted to do or whatever was good for our marriage.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, I stole it from Tyler Wyman, but created a little incentive box for every 100K
Yeah.
with my fiance. It's been great. Do you do
Yes.
anything like that, like in terms of gift giving, or how do you get her on board for, you achieving your goals?
Absolutely. That 2024 year, it's like, hey, I wanted to do a million, but we were recruiting a lot. So the extra 100K didn't make sense. But it's like, hey, we sell 1,000 accounts. Let's get you a big brand new home in Georgia. You know what I mean? And so we
Mm,
we bought a brand new home. So that way when we had our son, his nursery is everything is super cute, super fun. And then her and I like to travel a lot. So it's like, we had a certain business goal this year. We're going to go to Asia in the fall. So just fun things like that. Again, whatever is you and your spouse's love language or gift or whatever you guys enjoy.
that's cool, man. That's awesome. Nice. Okay, cool, dude. I want to kind of just pick apart your resume a little bit. 1,728 accounts, the record, never been done before, right? I think what Marshall Hawks holds the record right now for revenue,
Mhm.
1.5 mil.
Yeah.
I think he's around there, but 1,728 accounts, dude. Like, what happened that summer? That was what, 2020? You're saying,
hmm
dude? Like, just what was the mindset? What was the goal going into it? Was it just like sign up city the whole year? It's 5 months too. You did it in only 5 months.
Yeah, that was the COVID year, so we kept getting pushed back. So we literally couldn't start knocking until May 12th, and then I got it done on October 12th, and that's when I came back home. And so I would say there was just more urgency because, I mean, you remember COVID, the world was just such a question mark. And it's just like I had just put law school on pause because I was only ever going to sell for one summer. So I sold in 2019 with GreenX to be able to pay for my law school in cash because they didn't want to take out school loans and take on big debt. And I crushed my goal and I made more than enough. But then Ben and Josh, they're like, hey, you should really come back and try and break the record. And at that time, it was like Josh Zuniga. He had done like 1,500 accounts and like around 800 and something K and change. And I was like, oh, I think I could smoke that. And then we finally were able to go out. So it's just like every day with such urgency. My cousin was my technician and like we were just having fun. And then on that team, like so many senior people that are now here at the Grit, we were all on that Chicago team. And so it was competition. I was doing it with my family. Ben was running that team again, who's like, we all have that leader that just gets the most out of us. Like that, Ben is that for me. And so it just all the pieces of the line. And then, of course, I worked really hard. And Alexa, we weren't engaged yet. That's my wife. Alexa was super supportive the entire way as well.
Crazy, man. Crazy. That's insane. So like what was the average daily? Like what were you guys selling a day?
Oh, I think 6 times that year I did over 100 in a week. but I was
Wow.
trying to sell at least 10 every single day because it's just all about what standard are you a part of. I remember like our 2019 summer, if you had like a 5 or a 6 day, it's like you were crushing it. Where I'm like, the standard should be like 10 a day. And I remember like we finally started to get that towards the end of 2019. And then that last week of 2019, I sold 92. And so then going into 2020, I'm like, I think I could sell 100 a week. And then it was that second week, I sold 127. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And so I think with all that support I previously mentioned, I raised the bar and the standard, and then I held myself to it. And then the reason why I love this job is I just grew up playing baseball. This job is just trial and error. It's like, oh, if I keep missing on the Terminex switch, let's adjust here. Oh, if I keep whiffing on the spouse, let's adjust here. Or, oh, I'm in this type of neighborhood, let's make the adjustment here. Because I shared like the states and the companies for a reason. Because of being working at the grid, we've had a lot of unique experiences selling quarterly, BIMO, monthly billing, quarterly. Like there's only so many different ways you can spray 3 feet up, 3 feet out, you know? And so if you
Mhm.
really learn the principles and how to sell the homeowner where you are, you can see success anywhere. And that's why I love this job and especially pest control too.
So cool, man. Man,
Thanks.
some of those numbers you're throwing out are scary. 127 in a week. It's hard for me to wrap my head around, man. Even as like myself a Golden Door winner, it's hard for me to wrap my head around. So impressive, dude.
You could do it, bro.
But one day, man, one day, I don't know, 127. But no, that's cool, man. That's cool. But okay, cool. And then also just a couple key stats I want to highlight. 32 accounts in a day in that same summer. That's your record. Bonkers, insane. Talk to me about that day. How'd you sell 32 accounts in a day?
That day was insane. Trying to think. I think I just started hot. I sold my first couple doors, and especially if you sold for a while, you've been there where you're smooth and like no objection phases you. You know what I'm talking about? Where you're
Oh
just like,
yeah,
I'm in my bag today. And so
for sure.
I got the first couple rolling, and then I believe in like I call it like the Fab Five, where you tell them it's a contract and a cancel fee. You get the credit card, you ask for mosquito, you book the next slot, and then especially you ask for referrals. Like in pest control, we need to do that more. Solar people
Hmm.
definitely do it. Like we should do it. And I
Hmm.
got on the Facebook page, and the main person that I sold was just hyping me up on the Facebook page. So especially by the time I was at like 13, 14, by the end of the day, it's just like people were almost kind of waiting for me to sign up. It's like, oh yeah, I signed the Facebook page. Tell me what's going on. And so then it just was like, how quickly can I get them in and get them done? And then I had a technician right on my bum, and so we were just spraying everything as I was signing it up. So
Cool.
one of those days where the stars aligned. But again, like I worked hard, put on good clean accounts, set the expectations. I got on the Facebook page, be kind, be polite, leave the neighborhood better than you found it. And like people were stoked. And we've been back to that neighborhood, like that was Green X, but we've been back to that neighborhood as Green X. We've sold for Aptiv. So it's like because we set the rapport there, well, we've been able to go back to that same neighborhood now, I think 3 or 4 different times. And so it even makes me feel good because people remember, oh, like, did you work with Cody Olive ever? I'm like, oh, they still remember me. So that was cool.
Oh yeah, man. You're the guy. You're the guy there, I'm sure.
It's the red
So it
hair
was
kid.
all in one hood. One hood. Very cool, man.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, on that note, one thing I want to just touch on. Can you break down that Fab Five for me one more time and kind of what
It's
it means, like what it's all about?
so when I teach all the reps in my region to sign people up, we do it the Fab Five way. You let them know it's a contract and a cancellation fee. Don't skirt around it. Hey, is there a cancel fee? Yes. Not an agreement or maybe or possibly, like, be black and white. You get a credit card. If you have to, a debit card. Sometimes reps will get lazier. They're just trying to push a deal through. So people will try and give you Venmo cards, Cash App cards, things like that. They just rarely fund because they have to be able to pay the bills to be commissionable. Ask for a mosquito if you guys can sell those packages. Because again, we need to make it more normal where people think it's like a whole separate sale. Where it's like when you go check out at, AutoZone or you go check out at Big O Tire. Hey, for an extra $200, you want a warranty on all 4 tires. So that way, if you ever get a nail, you come back for free. Like consumer culture, we're used to being upsold. So do it. Because once you get the first yes, the second yes is so much easier because the walls are already down. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Fourth one, and again, like especially for my reps that are a little older that own homes, when you buy a fridge, when you buy a dishwasher, when something gets repaired, they tell you the time window. Hey, we'll be here Tuesday, 12 to 12. Make sure someone is there to bring in the fridge. But for whatever reason, when we're on the doors, we get nervous or we just become yes machines. But then it screws up your whole routing because you might be in this area down south. And then a couple of days later, you're 30 minutes further up north. But one of the reps did a poor job booking and they booked that job when you're all the way down here or you're all the way up here and that job is still down there. So it's like we're adamant about booking the next job and setting the time window. Now, of course, if they want the inside done or want to be there, then you always work with the customer. But you set the time window, you book the job. And then lastly, it's leave behind like I have like a solidify the sale text. And then we ask for referrals like, hey, do you have any neighbors, family, or friends that need pest control? Hey, like, do you guys have a Facebook page or a Nextdoor app? And sometimes people get pushed back and they're like, well, I don't want to get on the Facebook page because I don't want to be like made aware because what if they don't like me? No, you actually want to get on there and get ahead of it and get good press because someone, regardless, is not going to like you because you're knocking doors. And there's always going to be some Karen that gets on there and chirps on the community Facebook page. And so if you can get a couple good votes already in your favor, when that goes to happen, you already have good favor to pre overcome that.
Yeah, dude, I heard through the grapevine that you're the Facebook group master.
Love it.
So what's the process there? You literally just shoot them, you just include it in your follow-up text? Or do you kind of voice it right away or,
Yeah,
while you're closing them? Or
absolutely.
what's the sauce on the Facebook groups?
You got to come work with me first. No, I'm just kidding. How it works is, no, you've already signed up the deal, you've booked it, you've gone through those 4 steps. You're at the very end. Hey, I'm just going to leave you to solidify the sale text. I let say that. Go over the couple points, and then you actually ask, hey, do you have any neighbors, family, or friends, any pest control? Oh yeah, my cousin lives around the corner, or oh, my kids play baseball with the coach right across the street. If they say no, move on. Don't press it because you don't want to be annoying. And then I always ask, hey, do you have a Facebook page, like a neighborhood Facebook page or a Nextdoor app? And they're like, yes. I have a little typed out template that I text to them and then I watch them post it. Because otherwise, if you just text it to them, they're probably not going to do it. So then, like, sweet, can you take out your phone real quick and just post this on your guys' neighborhood Facebook page? Oh, yeah, sure. No biggie at all.
Guys, like the video if you want Cody to send us the template that he uses.
Yes,
No,
yes.
that's cool, man. So how much would you say is of your business is responsible from referrals?
I would honestly say I probably get at least, 50 accounts a summer just from referrals. And then especially like, here at the Grit, we believe in like re-knocking where we'll go into a neighborhood a second time or a third time. And so then
Mm,
that way, like I'm always thinking of the rookie. What can I do to make an 18 to 25-year-old's life easy? And so it's like if I smoke some neighborhood and I send this rookie in that struggling, he already has my bandwagon. People already know who we are because of the Facebook page. And then I can send them to that rookie as well too. So it's so fruitful for especially like get a couple extra deals yourself and then also set yourself up for your entire knocking plan throughout the summer too.
yeah, there's something to say about like the nudge factor, right? Like
For sure.
you might not get that direct referral, like, hey, call this person, they want it, but they saw the thing on the Facebook page. Maybe it was, 20 minutes ago, maybe it was last year. It's just all like marketing, right? So yeah, I could see how that's super valuable.
For sure.
Definitely. Okay. Out of your 6 golden doors, um, what would you say was, your most difficult stretch?
Good question. And I mean, the one that always comes to mind is 2021 when I was at Milwaukee because it was my first time ever managing. And so you're just, like the industry thinks it's usually one or the other, but we don't have that standard. It's both. You sell well and you run a really good team. And so just learning to juggle that, be on the same page with, your significant other, and then running a team, it's so much more than people give credit for. And so my team managers out there that have ran teams, like kudos to you. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And so I think just learning to do that, I'm very much a forthright person, black and white. And so sometimes, that's why my nickname's the Sarge. Sometimes I'm a little too bold. And so that was my first year really like learning to manage different personalities. Whereas like looking back to now, I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe I was like that. And so really learning to manage personalities. And then the third thing is especially just if you're a good manager, you care. It's like you want to make sure the routes are well. You want to make sure the technicians are doing a good job. You want to make sure people are happy Saturday night at dinner. You want to make sure fun things are happening on Sundays. And so it's a whole new realm you go into. And so, whereas 2020, besides attending to my couple guys, it was rip, rip, rip. Let's sell as much as we can. Whereas 2021, it was that, but then also, hey, let's make sure these 25 people are having a good experience.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. You talk like a lot about recruiting. I'm just curious because I've kind of felt a little bit of it, but how much has it helped, you just having that track record in your recruiting?
Yeah. I think it's just people trust me. It's a hard job where it's just like, I love my guy MJ, but it's if you were to teach me how to play basketball, it's like, well, what have you done? Oh, I've won these scoring titles, I've won this MVP, I've won these finals. It's like, sweet, you've done it, so I want to do it. It's the classic old phrase, but it's like Not saying you can't, but it's hard to teach someone how to do something unless you've done it before. And so whether you have a young 18-year-old kid fresh out of high school and I got to meet with his parents, it's like, well, hey, I've done this 6 times. I know what I'm doing. Oh, they're at ease. Or it's like, maybe you have a female or a girlfriend or someone. It's like, my wife sold for 3 summers. Or, I want to be the best to ever do this, like Dal Peterson. Great. I sold 1,000 accounts 5 times and done 1 million 3 times. Let's do it. And so I think that trust and then the know-how are huge where it's like, okay, like I want to go work with you.
Yeah. And I would just like add on to that. It's just it's having that conviction, right? Like I could just imagine the conviction you have, but even, me, it's like the conviction that you have of like, dude, this is real. Like you can really figure this job out and it can really change your life.
Yeah.
I think if you haven't done those bigger sales numbers, you're still kind of dealing with it yourself. It's hard to have, you can't really teach that conviction, you know what I mean? So I think that's one of the biggest reasons, like, to hit that golden door is that feeling that it gives you the conviction you have in your recruiting. You know what I mean? That you're not a fraud. It's exactly what you're saying is what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. No, that's super cool. Dallin Peterson. So
Yeah.
yeah, I obviously just recently learned about him. I listened to your guys' Grit Golden Door panel.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Thanks.
Um, yeah, hit me up if you guys want the link for that. It's incredible. But so that he was under your downline then, Dallin? So dude,
So
let's like what's the use case on like what like let's dissect this kid's brain. How did he do what he did?
So Drew Wood, who works with me now, and then one of their guys, Tyler Adams, David Covington, they recruited Dallin. And so then I started working with them in the fall. So then when we went out to Reno, I ensured that he got it done. So shout out Drew, Tyler, and David for recruiting him. Dallin is just that's where like, especially I would like to say this on this podcast with recruiting, you never know who's going to do good. With if they're lazy or drama, obviously like avoid it. We want to change lives, not babysit lives. But if they have discipline and habits where it's like my guy Ryan Winfrey, like no shade at him, but stereotype, like he did choir and played band. Whereas most of the time people feel a certain type of way, but he was a rookie Golden Door as well too. Whereas
Wow.
Dallin was a basketball player. And so just anything that's like repetition based where they have good discipline, they are so good at this. And then especially if they have the mental fortitude, whereas I can have some of the most talented, confident, smooth talkers in the world but when it gets hard, or especially when July hits, like that's where the rubber hits the road. And it's like, hey, who's going to stick it and hit out their goal? Or are they going to talk themselves out of it and kind of settle for a goal? Whereas, especially with just Dallin's work ethic, his discipline, and then his mental discipline, I knew he was going to get it done. Whereas this summer, he's going to actually go for 1.6 million. So he wants to go for the record. And then, especially, he does it the Fab Five way. And so he should have at least 15% or less attrition. And so just off selling pest control, he'll make $1 million, which he's 21 years old. Or no, he's 24 years old, which is absolutely insane.
Dude, yeah, doing it in his second year, I mean, yeah, anything's possible. Anything's possible for that guy. That's incredible.
Amen.
I heard a little like when I was watching that panel, I heard something about how he trained aggressively hard, like something like 5 hours a day. Like what was that true?
I don't know the exact time, but yeah, every day he was training several hours and just like little preface on that. If you can handle that, do it. If that's your personality type and you like that, where it's like he's similar to me where he likes to be busy and go, go, go. And so if you can handle that, great. Because sometimes what happens though, and especially James, as you go train more and more reps, sometimes reps overtrain. And so when they get to the summer, they think it's going to be easier. And so if they don't get that instant success or that quicker success, then they get frustrated and they talk themselves out of the goal. And so knowing yourself, hey, if I need to put in a lot of reps, hours role playing, do it. But I would say spend just as much time mentally strengthening the mind because again, it's when it gets hard or when July hits, that's when people talk themselves out of the goal because I train hundreds of people every year. They're like, I want to do the golden door. I want to do 1,000 accounts. I'm like, I'm gonna believe in you, but it's like, hey, like when it gets hard, what are you gonna do to make sure you keep pushing so that way you hit your goal instead of talk yourself out of that goal?
Yeah, 100%. And on that note, I wanted to ask like, besides training, obviously training is important, but what are the best ways to prepare for a golden door or just for a big sales season?
Yeah, great question. I would say have your pitches memorized. And sometimes people think memorize is you're going to be robotic. It's actually not because if you're memorized, you don't have to think about what to say. You can actually be more yourself where it's automatic. Where it's like I always make this joke when I train my reps. It's like I could have a German Shepherd jump up and maul me, and I could stand right back up and be like, "See the eaves up here?" Because I've just done it so many times and I have it memorized where I can be totally myself and nothing phases me. And so whatever James's training is or whoever your team manager is, like follow the trainings to a T. Don't reinvent the script. Trust me, your leaders, your managers know better than you. Not to be arrogant, but they've just done it. And so trust the process and memorize it so that way you can go be yourself. Where it's like me and James are totally different people, but we both have gotten the Golden Door Award. And so trust the principles in the script, just be yourself within it. Two, I would sit like I kind of hinted on, like have that mental training. So for example, me, like I hate the cold. Like I'm not a cold plunge guy at all. Where it's like one of my guys just redid his whole backyard and he's got like a nice hot tub, cold plunge, sauna, the whole thing. And to get into the hot tub, he makes like hose you down. I'm like, oh, I hate this. But I did it for him because he wanted that's the house rule to get in the hot tub. And so if I were to go do a Golden Door again, I'd be in the cold. Because sometimes people think it has to be this David Goggins thing where I'm going to do this 4x4 by 48. Even if it's something as simple as you hate to get up early, get up every morning at 6:30. Okay. So do something mental, but do it every day so you can start to build that callus. And then the third thing is take care of your body. Read a lot, put the phones down, and then especially eat well. Where it's just like, James and I were chatting about this, but it's like I feel like my longevity, a lot of it is due because I served my 2-year LDS mission in Singapore, Malaysia. So that's why I want to go back to Asia. But a lot of those people out there are 80, 90 years old, running around playing badminton, soccer, you name it. It's because they treat their bodies like temples and they put good things into it. Whereas this is your first summer, or if you're a salty dog like me, when it's June, more often than not, you're after the doors and you're in the Taco Bell drive through, and 8 hours later, you're cracking open a white monster or a bang or something. So it's like take care of your body so that way you feel good in the summer as a ramp instead of you just feel like this lug that's just barely creeping across through August.
Right. Yeah. I think that's something that I have a lot of room for improvement. Like when I'm going for my bigger goals, I sort of just go doors, 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 doors. Wake up, right to work, just grind 9 to 9. No kind of room or energy for gym, eating not great, you know what I mean? But I think it's kind of like sometimes like that's what it takes, but as you get more experienced it gets easier, right? It kind of allows you more time to get that sort of stuff done. So what was like a day in the life for Cody Olive, Golden Door Cody Olive? What's kind of your routine? What
Yeah.
yeah, just what when you getting on the doors, getting off the doors, all that.
Cool. So, like, for example, like when we were just in Reno in September and October, I know if I go to the gym, and this is where, like, when I'm giving this advice, hopefully, guys and gals, you feel this theme. It's like you have to know yourself and do what works for you. Whereas if I go to the gym and I have my phone, I'm probably going to respond to it because reps are asking me questions, or I got to put out fires, or I got to handle X, Y, or Z. And so I sign up for a class, like a F45 or something like
Mhm.
that. So then that way it forces me to put my phone away and I hit a class hard. Plus, for me, like I hate wasting money. So it's like if I spent, a couple $100 for these classes, I'm gonna make sure to get up and go because we've all been there where we sign up for some lifetime membership and we spend $100 for the month. We'd maybe gone once during the month. And so I make sure to do that. Shower, get ready, quick breakfast with the family, try to get to the office about 20 minutes early. So then that way the office looks nice. Like that's something that's really slept on. Like make sure your chairs are aligned, make sure the whiteboard looks good, have the music going because people feel that energy. If it's all kind of a mess, the meeting's going to start off as a mess. And so make sure to like set the tone for the office, run your meeting. I keep mine short, sweet, and simple, 30, 40 minutes, and then get with my car group, grab a sandwich or something good to go, a bowl sandwich. Never stop and eat lunch. That's just a rule of mine for all my guys. Like eat your lunch to go because if you go sit down and have some big huge lunch, you're just going to be slow out to the doors. And so eat lunch to go. Get on the doors by 12, 12:30. Go until 9, 9:30. Cruise back home. Spend time with the wife. Eat dinner together. Luckily, she stays up late, waits for me. We have a late dinner together. And then once that's all wrapped up, check my phone, put it away, do the nighttime routine, and then rinse and repeat.
Cool, man. Cool. Fairly standard, disciplined, nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of guys are, I feel like, getting out there earlier now. I feel like the industry is kind of changing a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that too, but
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of guys starting to go out early. A lot of guys working Sundays. Have you seen that? Lots of guys working Sundays. I feel like you know better than I do, but like back 5 years ago, like nobody worked a Sunday. Not one.
Uh,
And now you see guys working every Sunday, some 7 days a week. It's crazy. You know what I think, Cody? Just side note, I think that this game is going to turn into like an endurance sport.
yeah,
I think it's going to like slowly but surely, like the summer is going to turn into like 6 months, and then it's just going to turn into like, all right, I'm going for it, all year. For the guys that are going for bigger goals, right? It's like, I'm going to start in January. We're just going to see how many accounts we can sell 12 months. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And yeah, what are your thoughts on preseason, postseason? For me, it's been a huge like focal point of my career. My first Golden Door, I started in March. I ended in November. Just absolutely grinded it out. My second one this last year started in April. Did it in November again, and pushed past and went into December. What I found is that it got the second one was way easier knocking postseason because you've been there before, you've done it, right? The first one, it's kind of I'm the only one out here. The second time, brain calloused, right? It's what we do. And now I'm kind of going into this season. I'm like, why? I just am trying to like struggle with like, why wouldn't I knock those months, right? If I have kind of the energy and the mental capacity to do it. So I just want to get your thoughts. What's your thoughts on preseason, postseason? Should guys do it? Should guys not?
Yeah, for sure. And especially just speaking from experience, like in 2024, we kind of opened it up at the grid to do year round, like a spring, summer, and fall. And so, like, even in 2024, I had a guy hit the Golden Door to December 18th. And so, like, spring, we were in Greenville, South Carolina. Summer, we were in Houston. The fall, we were in Cincinnati for a couple weeks and then went to Atlanta once we opened up Mira. I think if you have guys that aren't gonna recruit, where like I think you said, James, a lot of people now are kind of transitioning to like a year-round schedule, whether it's pest, windows, you name it, and especially in warmer markets, like year-round pest makes sense. And so I think that if that's what you're going for, send that. You know what I mean? Like have your spring, summer, and fall, and make sure to take care of yourself. But if you want to try and grow at least somewhat of a program, or you're trying to do this with your friends, or you want to recruit it and do it big, I think those months of January, February, and March, the opportunity cost is too high because maybe you go out there and sell an extra 50, 70 accounts, but I'd much rather recruit 10, 15 of my buddies because maybe their summer internship didn't pan out. Maybe you have enough friends where they're like, hey, that other friend finally wants to come. And especially like just our 5 years of data here, like we've seen that over 50, 60% of people recruited in February and March make it out to market. So it's like, why would
Mm.
I miss out on that to be, out somewhere for a couple extra accounts? And then plus, especially where it's like my favorite month was always September, all 6 of my years. I would rather stay later into September and October when people are kind of getting back into school, kind of cooling off in the summer, hit my goal versus missing off or missing out on a hotter recruiting month. See what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's just kind of looking at your schedule and your goals and what you're going for and then planning accordingly.
That's super cool, man. I'm curious. Your spring block, fall block, like obviously you guys just rolled that out. What are some of the challenges that you've had with that, with guys maybe starting too early? Like you say you got the data starting way early, Jan, Feb. How's the data for rookies starting in March?
Yeah, I mean, this is me personally, like not gospel, but I wouldn't want rookies to go out in the spring unless it's like, again, looking at that person, like a Down Peterson type rookie. I'm okay with that because maybe they have older brothers, or maybe they have older siblings, maybe they've done wrestling or a challenging thing, and you can just kind of tell if someone's so it's like, okay, I'm okay to roll the dice. Whereas if it's a fresh rookie or especially someone that's a little bit younger, I'm not gonna send them out to the spring because then I want them to have the summer experience where they're there with a whole team, they're learning together, you're having fun team activities. Whereas usually your spring is gonna be more vet heavy just naturally because most vets aren't in school or they've been doing it a couple of years. And then even it's not big of a deal, so don't, like, take this as like, "Oh, I don't wanna do spring," but spring, it's darker earlier, whereas at least in the summer, it's still light until 8, 9 o'clock, and we all know, like, prime time is the best time, and so for a rookie to not really get much of a prime time either, I just don't think it's setting them up for the best experience, and then they might talk themselves out of the summer. Whereas, if I know they're gonna have good discipline and good habits, they just wanna get their feet wet, sure, let's roll the dice, let's try it. But if it's a rookie I'm on the fence with, if it's a rookie that has a ton of friends, or if it's a rookie where they're a little bit younger, I want to make sure their first experience is a summer experience where it's lighter out, you have a full team and vibes, you're doing fun activities on the weekend. Because again, the summer is a ramp where it's like my first 8 weeks, I sucked. Where it's like if I would have gone and done a spring block, I don't know if I make it out to the summer. And so
Yeah.
those are kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah. When did Dallin start?
He started April.
April. Cool. Cool. Okay, awesome, man. Okay, I want to get your intro. I want to get the famous
Yeah,
cleaner intro.
cool.
Okay, so just your first 30 seconds, and yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it.
Ready?
Ready, man. Let's go.
And knock, knock, knock.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. What's
Good.
up?
Just real quick. I'm Cody with Mira. We're the ones we work for the Frasers, we work for Dallin, we work for James down on the corner. He's got the cool lifted truck. Anyways, most of them tried a company like Eco Shield or Terminix and then switched and upgraded to us. Who do you guys use for the pest control?
Yeah, we're with Terminex.
Okay, great
So
company, biggest difference, and then I'm right into it.
boom, boom. Okay, got it. And then so if they're saying like if we just rewind the tape, they said, yeah, no, we don't have a company.
And then I would just go right into it. Sweet. My name's Cody. What was your name?
Awesome. My name's James.
Nice to meet you. So see you up here, and then I'm right into the eaves.
Amazing, dude. That's what's so cool, man, is like the top guys, it's just so simple. There's just it's so simple, man. I laugh and major respects to Marshall Hawks, but Marshall Hawks, I shouldn't even say it. Maybe I'll edit this out, but I just want to tell you, Marshall Hawks has his script for sale, right? You can go in, buy it, pest control, holder record, pitch.
Yeah.
And one of our guys bought it and I read it, and it's just so simple. It's so simple. It's unbearably simple. Where it's just like, hey, we're spraying the neighbors for bugs. If you can work in with them, we're doing it super cheap. That's the intro. It's just, so I don't know, man. It's just funny. Like you think the top guys are saying something incredibly whimsical. You know what I mean? But it's just,
And even my service is like 2, 3 minutes. Where I just think now in today's generation where we're so Instagram, TikTok, and everyone's an expert, we think it has to be this saucy, sexy thing where it's short, sweet, and simple. It's the truest king of just getting value across and them feeling confident and knowing, hey, like I'm signing up for a good service.
yep. And I think like one thing that I've discovered, Cody, is that like sifting is so important. And I stole that from the grit, the idea of sifting. But when you have a certain skill set, it's just about finding your buyers. You know what I mean? Just find those buyers and then capitalize on those opportunities. That's what I find, right? It's not about like what you say or convincing people that don't want the service. It's just find the buyers, find the opportunities. That's how you get the volume, right?
For sure.
Okay, cool. So a rep is stuck at 150, 200 accounts, right? Every single year they do the job, they do 200K, 200K, 200K. What are the first, couple things that you audit right away in order for them to get to that next level?
Yeah, I would go shadow with them and see what they're saying because 99% of the time a rep isn't selling because of the market or the operating partner or the technician or the team leader. It's because they're just flat out not saying it right. And again, not trying to be bold or speak in absolutes, but especially the last 3 years, I feel like I've shadowed more than anyone just in about the whole industry. Because especially in 2024, I ran a team for 10 months from February all the way through November. So I cycled through 200 plus reps. And every Tuesday and Wednesday, I shadow my reps. And so 99% of the time, they're probably saying something that's incorrect. Two, are they going the route? We call it racking, resolve is close. Are they racking beyond 4 or 5 times? Because
Mhm.
a lot of the times when you're shadowing, you'll see too, they'll walk away after three no's where it's like, no, if you would have pushed 3, 4 more times, like that's probably a deal. And then obviously the third thing is, are you working and are you working with intention? Because anyone can knock doors to knock doors, but is social media away? Are you not like, for whatever reason, especially this last year, people keep wearing the AirPod hot take, but don't wear them. It looks unprofessional. Plus you're distracted. um, Reps call each other. It's like, how can you pay attention on the doors if there's a mud dauber nest or, you see like a huge, nice suburban outside. So, it's probably a soccer mom or whatever. How are you paying attention to those details if your AirPods in and you're chatting it up with Joey the whole day? And so I
Right,
look at those three things. And then, of course, just listening to them and just being a good leader. Like, hey, how can I help? What can I do for you?
right, right. That's awesome, man. How many people are you talking to per day? What's your kind of metric? Do you track your numbers?
I don't. What I try to do is just try to be on the doors no later than 12:30, and I want to try my hardest to knock 100 doors. Because if I know I can knock 100 doors a day, I'm going to sell at least 10 of them. Because again, my standard is, hey, if I'm going to get in a full day, I'm trying to sell 10 that day, especially Saturdays. Another hot take, another bar for y'all, as the cool kids would say. I'm just kidding. I'm still young. I'm 32. But another bar is Saturdays are the Sabbath of sales. If you want big goals this summer, knock Saturdays 10 to 9, 10 to 9 at least, at least, at least. Okay. Don't cut out early. Don't do anything. Saturdays are the gas. Okay. I'm trying to knock 100 doors a day. And then anyone that is willing to talk to me, I actually not to go against, but I don't really believe in sifting unless they're like,
Mhm.
"Hey, you could get this to me for free." Then of course I'm not gonna try and push, but I'm gonna try and go at least 6, 7, 8 rounds with everyone until they give me that because you never know who's gonna say yes or not yes.
Right. So you're kind of like bring it sounds like you're going right into the presentation very quickly. So that kind of yeah, you can't really sift, right? You're already in a presentation, drop price, close, but your pitches are quick, I guess, right? Like you're getting to the close fairly quickly.
Yep.
Very cool, man. What about time blocking? How are you breaking up your day? Do you like to do that?
Just like let's make life easy. Let's say my area is just a big cul-de-sac. So like day one, I'm gonna start, look for certain places in your area. Am I by bodies of water? Am I by big trees? Is a home being built? Is there a big field behind? So then mice, like find a hot spot where to start, make your loop. Don't zigzag back and forth across the street. You draw attention to yourself. And especially there's just too many Karens nowadays. And they're like, there's someone odd in my neighborhood. They're gonna call the cops on you. So stick to one side of the street. I go until about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I go back to where I started, and then I do that loop again. And then I don't do go backs. Um, if they're like,
Mm,
"Hey, can you come back later and talk to my spouse?" I try very hard to be like, "Hey, can you just call your spouse on the phone real quick? Hey, can you just call
cool.
him real quick?" Because we've all been there where you go back and then like, "Oh, we haven't even talked about it. Sorry." The only time I ever go do a go back is if they say my husband or my wife totally handles it. I have no idea. Like, for example, my basement apartment and my home here, I have no idea what's going on. My wife totally handles that. So I think sometimes that is fair. And so if the other party totally handles it, then it's like I don't try and set a time. I just say, sweet, I'll come back by later. And if I have to do a go back, I go back after 8:30 p.m.
Cool. And then for you trying to sell 10 a day, are you trying to say, hey, I'm trying to get one an hour? Are you setting a timer on your phone saying I need one by this? Like how do you kind of keep your urgency about you?
Again, kind of going back to like the whole framing, just like whatever works for you. If you need, one an hour, if you need a couple by prime time, so that way you can get X by the end of prime time. I always try to get, if I can get 3 or 4 by prime time, I can usually end the day with 10. So I don't try to overstress. I'm just like, am I being intentional with each person that gives me the time of day? So then that way, excuse me, am I maximizing my doors? And so I just try to be intentional with each person I'm talking to. But like kind of like subconsciously, if I'm at 3 or 4 by the time 5 o'clock rolls around, it's like, okay, sweet. I think this 10 days in the bag.
Cool. Cool. Okay, last question for you. One belief that you hope all reps listening abandon, and one belief that you hope all reps listening to take in.
Yeah. I'd honestly, I'm going to do two in one. So two that I hope everyone abandons. Number one, knocking doors this late in your career is not a bad thing. Just because you're still knocking doors later does not mean that you haven't recruited well or you don't have a healthy business or you can't get off the doors. Please, I could, okay, but I don't want to because I like it. I don't want to turn off that spigot, and especially I want to stay relevant to my guys. So I would say that's number one is abandon that. If you got it, keep rocking it. Okay. You will have so much more trust and loyalty from your people. I promise, I promise, I promise. Okay. And then number two is it's not dichotomous. You can sell really well and run a huge team. You can run a huge team and sell really well. It's not, oh, I'm going to go for the million, so I'm not going to try and recruit this year. Or, oh, I just sold the million, so now I'm going to recruit but not do it again. Because then you come off as a one hit wonder. And then it's like, how legit was that? And especially if you had bad attrition, it's really like, okay, that was just a fluke or that was the market. You can do it once, like James. I hope you do it 2, 3 more times with the golden door because then you'll look back and you'll be like, I have so much respect and loyalty from my people. And then I'm recreating that, which is the whole goal of this. Hey, how can I impact the next guy or gal's life? And then one thing that you said I want everyone to believe, or one thing that I believe
Yeah,
in,
one thing that you want reps to adopt.
adopt the Fab Five. Even in
Mm,
even in 2026, I still see so many people where, oh, termites are included. You look at the contract, there's no termites on it. Or, oh, I thought this was a one-time treatment, which is the classic one since like 2018. Stop doing that. And then explain there's a cancellation fee. And especially for my younger reps, 19, 20, 21 years old, it is a good thing to have a cancellation fee. It is good business protocol because that shows that the company believes in their product and their company and they want that cancellation fee. So that way it can hold the customer's feet to the fire, but that way they can recoup time, cost, and labor. If you're not having a cancellation fee, what are you really giving away? And so I would say that's the biggest thing is we need to make the Fab Five universal because then it's just competitive and it's, hey, who's a better seller versus, oh, you got ripped off by XYZ sales company. Come with us because I'm going to be transparent with you. So those are my two
Totally,
cents.
man.
Hope
And I
those,
just think if you can be like transparent, you'll actually close more deals.
yes.
Like as soon as you get through that cancel fee, I just find customers just all of a sudden you earn their trust substantially. The rest of the sign up is so much more easier. You try to hide that, that's where you get the cancels, the backouts at the last second, all that sort of stuff, right? So completely agree with you there. Man, this has been awesome. This has
Thank you.
been awesome. I think we might need to do a part two. I could chat your ear off for another hour, but
It's
I'll
fun.
let you go. Cody Olive, dude, appreciate you. Where can the people find you?
Yes. Instagram at Cody underscore Olive. Hit me with a DM, or even if you want to text me, number is 657-345-3265 USA. So +1 area code.
Love it, Cody. Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time with another episode. Peace.
Thank you all.